Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my crafty world. This is Jurgita, and I want to say hello to all of you crafters, friends, strangers, subscribers, visitors. And I'm starting my May vlog, I could say, um, of mostly embroidery type, and it's gonna might be scattered a little bit of my life. And I'm starting this few days later because I've been so busy last few days that I didn't get a chance to stitch. So today is already late evening of the 3rd of May, and I'm finally sitting down because my fingers just like itching to stitch. Although this morning we had our stitch group meet, but I was there maybe like for half an hour stitching itself because I have to clear up some like a reservation room that we get at the library events, and we discuss the future reservations. So I got maybe, I don't know, like 30 stitches put in because I was looking also at what others were stitching and the finishes. So that was not on this piece, but I took with me my mermaid berry on a silk gauze, but that is good to right now for me to take when I go somewhere. And this is bigger piece, and I'm gonna try to start my months with this one by dimensions, called collections, called Silent Flight, because my goal is to finish it this year. So right now I have about almost 11,000 stitches left. So let's see where I'm gonna start compared to what it should look like. So as you can see, the up to here is pretty much all done right now. I stopped the last time when I was doing outline in here, and I think I was doing more couching versus like a back stitch. So there's still some like a feathers left to do outline. So once I'm done with the eagle part, then I'm gonna roll this part up because I stitch as much as I could to the frame, and then it will be the lower part that will need to be stitched. But so far this is what is all done, and some of the stitches that are half stitch require quite few threads at the same time, and some not too many. Like majority of the cross stitch part is in only eagle, and that's just a cross stitch done. So this is where I'm starting. Like I said, my goal is to finish it this year, so I'll be playing with this in the beginning of each month until it's done, and I'll stitch for I don't know how long it will take until I'll start feeling a little bit tired of this, or some other piece will be calling. So we'll see. I'll come back to you in I don't know how many days, but I hope you'll be able to see some kind of difference, at least in how this whole thing looks like. And I did a lot of couching actually. So the bird eagle is almost all done except like a little bit like where is the tail, because I did not finish full stitching. I did a little bit in here couching because I can sort of go underneath, but this is what it looks like, and I'm very happy how it turned out. And I already undid my sides, so the whole piece is unrolled. So is that what 67.8% or something? That's done. So now I'm gonna hide the top portion and just gonna work on the bottom. So I think it would be maybe about like here, maybe like a bottom. So I know that all full crosses are all done because they were all only in the eagle. And there was one French knot for the eye. It's also done. So what's left is only like a half stitches and all the outlining that's need to be done then to some. And we'll see how much I can progress on doing all the mountains and then the water and the reflection. So this is what it looks like right now, and next hopefully you will see some of that area already filled in. And I think I'm gonna pause for a bit because I have to stitch only with one hand due to my right hand's tendon pull. And when you do like this, it kind of starts hurting again. And let's see, hopefully you can see what I've done. So those darker ones, actually, they feel more poofy because it's 5 threads doing a half stitch. So it takes a little bit more, squeeze of the needle to pull her out. And I'm feeling that my left hand is kind of start aching a bit of muscles. And I'm trying not to rush, trying to lay all the threads a little bit nicer too. And I think I need to put the pause so my hands can get rest with a little bit something easier to stitch on versus pulling out like a all 5 thread through the needle, and that would make like a 10 threads, I guess. So yeah, it's getting a little bit physically tougher to do this, and there's more of this darkness gonna be happening, and this is like where it stops because different scene is gonna start. So we still need to go all the way that way, probably like 1,000 more of those half stitches. So overall, I'm still loving it. It's just I want to get that one done before this month, and I'll have to pause, but I'll be picking it up sometime this month again once my hands are rested from intensively holding the needle, squeezing to be able to pull it out. And we'll see what I grab next. Actually, we're gonna several of us decided to go today to Color and Cotton store in like more western part of St. Louis. I think it's in Baldwin town. So never been into actual brick and mortar store of theirs. So it will be exciting to check it out. Hopefully I'll get some fabric and threads for some of the patterns that I have, and maybe I'll be able to film it there if they let me. I know I heard that it's not can be too many people in there, so hopefully several of us is not gonna be too much trouble. But now I have to get ready for that, and I guess I'll be back either with some talk about the store or figure out what I want to stitch next while this is on pause. So 3 of us went to Color and Cotton, and we met another one over there. And it took us about 40-minute drive, which is very good in the time. Not too bad of the traffic. And we spent, I think, a couple hours in there just weighing and ahhing over all of the kind of things. And I was actually very proud of myself because I did not buy any pattern at that time. I know it's not a good way to support the business, but I went mainly to look for their fabrics and threads. So after this, I'll be putting a short video and some pictures of the things that was in the store. So we had just to ourselves stored for a tiny bit, and then more ladies were coming in. So we thought it would be a good time to go back home because we already were hitting traffic for all those who live downtown and go across the bridge to Illinois side. So overall, it was very fun time in there. Ladies were very helpful, looking for certain things, and I went with my usually printed list of what I wanted to look for, and sadly, all the like a typical kind of fabric color for 36 40 count that would be needed, like about a yard for samplers and things like that. They were quickly running out of it, so they didn't have enough for me as a whole yard, so I'll have to order a couple ahead because ladies have been busy dyeing other orders, especially online. But I got some things in here. So let's see. I bought this fabric to stitch this mend party block, and I thought that's nice enough blue color that it should be going well. I did not look for buttons yet, but I went for all kinds of threads in there that I could find. I think I found pretty much all for this and several other designs. If I had more time, I would have went and compared to color and cotton, because wow, the whole wall of like a just gradient changes in the colors by color and cotton dyed, it was amazing. So I think if I have more time, I would love to just get some of their threads to maybe change some designs. But I was kind of pressed for time because there was so much to look at, and we didn't want to spend all day. We couldn't spend all day in there. So we had to get back. And so I got classical works they had and Weeks Dye. They had all kinds of other things and rickracs in there, but I got all of these goodies to stitch several designs. So yay for me. And this beautiful, it's called Isla. For you, it looks way darker because probably I got a very bright light in here. Then I thought, well, even if the quarter yard, it's very neutral color, it's beautiful. If I wanted to do something small, it would look good. And this one also like a grayish, I think it would look good on pretty much anything, in mirrors or whatnot. So I got a half a yard of that. And then I thought it's never too much to have a needle, so I got it to size 26, this Peacemakers, so that. And I was very excited to see some of the beeswax. I never seen like that company that makes it. Well, it is a yarn tree, so I never tried, I should say. And something totally new. It's called thread gloss, and it's actually have a smell in it. So you open up and you can smell the lavender. They had several different flavors in there, but lavender was the most fun to smell for me at that moment. So I grabbed this to try out. I don't know how it would work, if it's good for let's say silk threads or not. So if you guys know, let me know in the comments, and for others to see too, because I know beeswax is good for when I'm doing with the gold work and other things. But this thread gloss, I don't know what exactly would be safe to use it, but it's sort of like a beeswax with the smell in it. So these are the things I bought in there, and we'll see when I'll be able to use that. But I guess next you'll see a short video and pictures from the place itself, and then we'll be back with more of my stitching. decided to pull out my Tea Dragon by Nadezhda Kazarina. I have just tiny bit under 10,000 stitches left, and that includes not just the full stitches, but some stitches. If you watch my time when I was stitching on this, that some stitches were one leg one color, another leg another color, and of course, as you can see from this part, lots and lots of back stitching, outlining with 1 and 2 threads in the different directions and so on. So I'm gonna continue stitch here, and once I fill up the some area, I'll be able to do the back stitching. So I don't have it left all the way until the end, because then I would probably pull my hair out with all of the back stitching that left to do. As you can see, there's lots and lots to do. So I have the like a threads sitting right here, 2 of these 30 amount, and some extra left, and I'm all ready to tackle it. I'm stitching on 30, I think it's a 32 count black linen, and we'll see how much I can do. My goal is to finish it this year, so I'm gonna do some right now, and we'll see how much I can go until my eyes gets too strenuous to work on this black fabric. So until then, I guess we'll see. And it's time already to stop with this. It was more days than I was initially planning to stitch, but I was stitching sometimes barely 100 stitches a day. So it took me quite a few extra days to do how much I want to do. So I calculated, if I want to finish this by the end of the year, since I haven't touched this almost a year until now, that I need from May until about end of beginning of December, I need to stitch about 1,430 stitches or something like this. So I was just trying to go until then at least, and I did just a tiny bit more than that minimum. So I'm happy. And as you can see, you can already tell that this is the tea already in the cup, and some scales I started already to I don't know why my camera is so bleached out. I tried to already outline the scales in here. I was working with 1 thread. There's going to be also 2 threads of black and a little bit more, and I also started to fill in the cup itself. So all of these what do you call those, trellis, right? That's going to be outlined also, so still going to be happening a lot of outlining, but you can see already like claws in here that's going to be outlined also, and cups handle already showing up, and a little bit more of the scales of the dragon, but this is what it looks like. I actually did not have the bee fully outlined also, and like over here, so I had to do a little bit more of that, but overall I think it's looking more and more cuter. And we have not rolled down the frame, as you can see. So next time, part of this guy is going to be hiding once I stitch in this area, I guess, or I could just next time roll up and then just fully finish up the threads, because some of the threads I already finished the symbols, and some need like somewhere a little bit below the cup a little bit to stitch. So there's going to be a little bit more of that, and I hope that I could pull it out each month until it's done, because like you see, it's a lot of outlining, and that also takes time, not just the plain stitching. And there's quite a few blends in here, although they don't take that much time. You pull out 2 threads anyway from the sorter. So this is where the little tea dragon is gonna stop in the month of May. So the next, I'm gonna pull out again my, let's see what I'll pull out, shall we? And I'll be continue work on my dimensions silent flight, because I did not reach my minimum of the month. I still need what, about 800 maybe minimum stitches to do, and that would be cross stitch. So half stitches, that's majority of this is being stitched, is uh, needed double amount, so about 1600 maybe half stitches. And I'm gonna go in a few minutes, pack up and go to my stitch group meet. Of course, I'm not gonna be able to stitch as much as at home, but this is where I'm starting again. Hopefully my hand did not get too much of exercise. I was trying very careful not to overwork it, and now I think I'm ready to go back and pull those five stitches, five threads through the fabric. So this is where I'm beginning again this month. So hopefully you'll see better difference in a few seconds. So after stitching almost 2 weeks, I could say that I'm happy with the result, even though it stretched across quite a few days. But I was busy with other things in life, and sometimes when I look at my program, it would have like just over 100 stitches a day, or that might be close to 200 half stitches. But I already went past 84%. And just a tiny bit was left till 85, but I thought that would be enough. So let's see, there's still a tiny bit left to stitch around here, but this same color is going to show some more like right here. So I figured I could wait a bit to fill in this blank. And as you can see, like water here was filling in, and that was not hard to stitch at all. Some blends, so I like how the blends make it look part of that murky more. And then I was stitching also on this side, and all those green colors just kind of was very looking dull, until I added a little bit of the yellow color, like sun bouncing here, sunlight down in the water, so it kind of brought up more light. And as you can see, when I went down there, I think it's just right here that the whole bottom is going to be reached. So I went almost all the way to the bottom and stitched that way. But overall, I'm very excited to see this growing. So it's going to be a lot of the half stitches. And I was doing that with 3, 4, and 5 threads. Sometimes I would use for a 4th thread, I would use 2 threads fold in half. So it's easier for the needle to go through. But this whole thing gives a little bit more dimension, I think, in this. And I think it's a good time to put this aside for the month of June. And if I continue like this, I could actually, what I stitched in May, it was over 5,000. So just about the same amount left to stitch. So if I relax, it's such a slow stitching, and stitch next 2 months, I could finish before September. So that would be great, because my main goal was to finish by the end of the year. But we'll see, maybe some other project is gonna want to be stitched to the end, and if I'll have time to stitch, because summertime might be some more time to be outdoors. So we'll see. So this is what moment is going to be left alone for my silent flight. And we'll see what I was stitching besides this one. And I already stopped for this month, but I wanted to show you. So I've had this I don't think I showed you this month at all much of this mermaid berry that I'm stitching on a 40 count silk gauze. I love how big the holes are, and even occasionally I still manage to pierce those tiny silk threads in the fabric. But I've been taking this to my stitching group meets and stitching there slowly, and then I decided maybe I should spend a couple more days at home to add a little bit more. And it's easy to do that because it's only in one color of thread, which is over dyed thread. As you can see, some of those changing lines. So I've been just filling in little by little all inside so far up to those waves, and started to go in around the frame. So that's all slowly will be filled in. Little by little, I'm using a stronger magnification glasses for that. And as you can see, I could still see easily through. So that's what it's looking like right now. And especially when I have a change in the color, I try not to go just straight lines, kind of like uneven filling in here. So it's not just lines happen in color change, but again, I'll remind you that I'm stitching with the half stitch only, and I'm doing that as a basket weave, so the back side is really filled in, and it's easy actually to anchor finish of the thread or start of the thread in there when there is a basket weave. But this is what I've been working after I stopped with my silent flight. For a couple more days, I stitch on this, and I'll be picking it up on again next month. Little by little, it will be filled in by the end of the year, and maybe that would be great if I could FFO this one, but we'll see how it goes, because there's still medallion left to do that I did not cut out yet. The back side, like I did here in the top portion. And let's see, what else? I'm gonna have one more project for the end of the month. And if you've been watching my previous videos for past several years, you kind of could guess what project I'm gonna be picking up. But before that, today is what, 27th of May. And I actually went by JoAnn's store one more last time and filmed what was left, because today is day 0. So tomorrow it will be permanently shut down. And it was kind of like a sad moment to walk through that store with practically majority of the part of it all empty, or like cordoned with the do not pass kind of lines. So kind of wanted to walk one more time inside and remember good times that I shopped. I actually did purchase a bunch of stuff in there. Before that, in the past week, I had my daughter bring her friend, because we promised as a birthday gift she could go and choose like a yarn and knitting needles, and she wanted to do crochet. My daughter wanted to learn crochet too now. So we just did some shopping. I did purchase some more threads, although there was not a lot of choices. So I think I'm gonna add a short video of my walkthrough, and maybe at the end I'll also show you what I've got from JoAnn's, or I'll do separate. But I went there like 3 times after they announced bankruptcy and shutting down. So I did not put it all away yet, but it's just so sad to see a place like this, because there were a lot of different choices of fabrics in there that you could afford to buy, and that was also for embroidery too, not only cross stitch. And there was some oh, what do you call those? Iron-on, those fusible backings. It was there, but all the good fabric was bought out quite quickly, and when I wanted to buy like an extra sewing machine, maybe as a gift for my daughter to practice on. Somehow from a warehouse, when they started pulling everything into the stores, it did not come to our store. That's the way I understood. And I thought about like a different serger than the antique that I have inherited from my mother-in-law, and still don't know how to use it. But none of those were left. It was bought out right away when there was, I think, like a 30% off only. So I did not grab it back then. Oh well, so yeah, it was a very sad day, I think, for all stitchers, because sometimes you could get like a 40% off or more on cross stitch threads and all kinds of sparklies. But let's hope that a surviving couple crafty shops would not go in the same way. So yeah, today is the last day, and it's a sad day for all the crafters. But I'm sure we'll keep our creativity going, and we'll adapt to that, and we'll continue work and share our projects and what we've done in different ways on social platforms. So anyway, I'll add those videos, but wanted to show you how what else I've been working in throughout this month. I don't think I'll be able to do more stitching on this, because I'll be pulling something else on, and you'll see that in a second. And today I'm gonna start or continue working on my biggest project, Girl Ghost or Ghost Girl. And it's my biggest. I'm stitching this on 25 count Lucayas fabric, which is pre-gridded with these yellow lines. And nothing very interesting is gonna be seen here because its majority is pretty much just like finishing up her hair and then like a wall. So you see main character does, and her face is ghost part is all done. It's just the hair is gonna be showing up a little bit and then just filling up. So that also needs to be done. So this is what about what do I have right now? It's 35.9% done. Just a tiny bit here is underneath the top part of a frame. So this is what it looks like, and this is where I'm going to be starting. You can see where it ends, and that was my goal by the end of the year, to fill in this as much as I can up to the bottom part of the frame. And I think I'll be able to do that easily, especially since there's not going to be a lot of what do you call it, confettis like I had. This butterfly, practically its dimensional became, because there were so many different colors of 1 and 2 thread stitches only, that it feels raised. And the same thing like I had in those I don't know what to call those metal bows in there, strings to hold up the style. But yeah, so I can't believe how pretty she turned out to be. But up close and through the camera, you can see more washed out look. But of course, it also has to be seen from further away than that. So I'm sure it's not going to be a problem like this. And this is the smallest I would ever go stitching half stitches. For this, because then it would be hard to stitch, especially when you have a confetti. But I mean, look at the eyes. You can even see like a shiny part, a light bouncing off her middle part. But this is what I'm gonna start working on, and I'm not gonna be rushing, because lately I'm just enjoying, since I don't have like a specific deadlines to do, like for the games. Then I can stitch a little bit, go do other stuff, and stitch a little bit, and etc. So my ghost and a girl gonna be with me until the end of May. Let's hope wind doesn't blow towards us, our house, because he's been throwing stuff in there, burning. And I hope you can see some difference, because mainly it just was this wall stitching, and now I'm filling up, like up to here will be mainly like a one symbol, so it will be going fairly fast, and then again some mix in here. But I'm sure you can see all the hair here flowing around this part of her face, and that's where I'm gonna be leaving to pick up in end of June. So I stitched this up until late of 30th, because on the last day we had like a sit and stitch with locals. We drove to one of the ladies' houses, and we stitched in there, and it was in the country. And she and her husband were like auctioneers for many years, so they collected lots of old antique stuff into their home, because they love this stuff, and they didn't want those items to be like thrown out by the owners, and they were buying them. So the lady let me do some like a video through her house when she was doing the tour. So I'll be putting at the very end of this video. Hope you'll enjoy it. there were several items that I've never seen before. So she was explaining what they are, and it was very interesting to watch. We stayed there for about 5 hours. It was so peaceful, even though it was pretty hot outside, but you could feel the heat more in the city. There in the country, the breeze was nice and cool, perfect. The birds were chirping. There was some like bunch of like a hawks, bigger birds. There was I think even crane in there, and lots of little birds. But we just enjoyed, had some snacks, chatted, and stitched away. So I'll show you in a second what I brought to this sort of like a mini retreat, and you'll see what I've done on that piece. And for my picnic stitching time, I had this one brought with me by Dimensions, Ocean Princess, I think called, and it's been out of print very long time. So I found online the pattern and started stitching. I think I had like only one day last year to stitch on it. But when I was sitting down at our picnic to start stitching, I noticed something that really made me upset, but I did it. And that all those stitches that I had done of where the light hits through the water, I've stitched in the wrong side the stitches to lay because the way the light hits it, it was supposed to be this way, and I had them all stitched, those half stitches, that way. So instead of just trying to find on the other side of the fabric to start stitching, I was frogging it out while sitting, and then stitched some at the picnic and some I finished at home. So you can kind of see some of the holes feeling a little bit more in here. I had all of that stitched with two different colors, but that's also with one thread done. And just decided once I reached here, I went down where the hair of the girl starts, so make sure it doesn't fall off. So her face is gonna be like right here, and I started just filling up her face with two threads, a full cross stitch, and of course I'll continue more the water, like a light streaming through some water waves in here later on, but I just wanted not to repeat just the water kind of greenish colors, but I wanted to add this time something different. So hopefully I won't make that huge mistake. It was over like maybe 2.2%, I think, and I had to frog it all out, and what I stitch now is just a tiny bit less than that, what you see right now. So I'm pretty much caught up, but also just stitch one day, not for a very long time, but at least I think now I know which way all the stitches should lay. So I'm glad that I was able to frog it out and did not just throw it in the side upset. So we'll see. I can't wait to see how her body is going to look, how her face is going to look, because this picture is, of course, not very clear. But I think that was like a Chart and Charms kit only. So there's DMC thread numbers listed for that, and it's all in like a writing, word writing to descriptions where to do what, and that's what I've stitched for one day on the very last day of May, and I think that's a good way to end spring season, although it's not like an actual spring ending, but by the months it's the last day of spring season, and this is kind of prelude to the summertime. So my Ocean Princess got a restart, and we'll see how she develops later on. I don't have a huge plans for this year, but just something small that it's easier for me to carry. So if we go again to some stitching group meet, maybe I'll take her again, if not other pieces. So that's that. And after this, hope you'll stick around to see the video tour with some pictures added. I'll maybe put some written down explanations of some of the items, but it was so interesting to walk through the house and see all those collectible items and antiques. Some of them were actually like a couple of 100 years old. So until the next time, this was Jurgita saying bye-bye at that, and I hope you'll leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to leave a comment. Bye-bye.